All right, let's pull back the curtain on the technology that we use every single day. We're going to go on a little journey, starting from the very heart of your computer and zooming all the way out to the global cloud. We're here to demystify the software and networks that pretty much run our lives. So let's get right into it.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You press that little button and your whole world lights up. It seems so simple, but what you're actually doing is kicking off this incredible, super fast chain reaction. We're going to follow that chain right from the inside out. So, first things first, we've got to start with the foundation, right? We're talking about the invisible, unsung hero of your computer, what I like to call the unseen engine. This is literally where it all begins. So what is this engine? Well, technically, it's called system software. Its whole job is to run the physical parts of your computer, the hardware, and act as this crucial bridge to all the programs you actually use. You can think of it like the stage manager in a huge theater production, working behind the scenes to make sure everything just works. Here's a fantastic way to picture it. Imagine your computer is a house. The system software, that's the concrete foundation. It's the plumbing in the walls. It's the electrical wiring. You never really see it or touch it, but without it, well, nothing else in the house would work. It's completely 100% essential. And what makes this wiring so special? Well, it's built for one thing, pure raw efficiency. It has to be unbelievably fast. And to do that, it's written in what's called a low-level language, which basically means it speaks the hardware's native tongue. Because of that, it's really not something a normal user can just go in and tinker with. It's built for power, not for chit-chat. And, of course, the most famous piece of system software in the world is your operating system, or OS. You know, Windows, Mac OS, Linux. That's the big boss. It's the master controller that manages everything. Your memory, your files, your hardware, all of it. Okay, so our house has its foundation and its wiring. But an empty house is kind of boring, right? Now it's time to bring in the furniture and all the cool stuff. This brings us to the tools we actually use every single day, application software. Yep, an app. We all know the word. It's basically any program that's designed to do a specific thing for you, the person using the computer. If you're interacting with a program to write an email, edit a photo, or play a game, well, that's an app. Let's go back to our house metaphor because it works so well here. If the system software is the hidden foundation and wiring, then application software is all the stuff you put inside. The comfy couch, the big screen TV, the microwave. You know, the things you actually choose and use to live your life in that house. And you are using application software constantly. Your web browser, that's an app. The program you use to make slideshows for work, also an app. And obviously every single little icon you tap on your smartphone, that's launching an app. Okay, so we've got the engine and we've got the tools, the foundation and the furniture. Now let's just put them side by side for a second, just to make the difference totally crystal clear. Here's the core difference, right here. System software runs the whole show and creates the platform. Application software is what runs on that platform to help you do something. One is the stage, the other is the actor performing on it. And this table breaks it down even more. Just look at that last row, dependency. This is so important. Application software is completely dependent on system software. It can't do anything without it. You can't open your web browser if Windows or Mac OS isn't already running. But the system software, it's independent. It boots up all on its own when you hit the power button. You choose when to run an app. So, now we know what software is. But how do we get it? It's not always as simple as going to a store and buying a box anymore. So let's take a quick look at the digital marketplace. First up, we've got freeware. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. Software that's free to download and use. The catch is that you don't get the keys to the kingdom. You can't see the code, you can't change it, you can't sell it, use it as much as you want, but that's it. And you probably use freeware all the time without even thinking about it. Adobe PDF Reader, freeware. Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, both freeware. These are super powerful programs you get to use without ever paying a cent. Next is shareware. This is the classic try before you buy model. You get to download and use the software for free, but there are always strings attached. Maybe it only works for 30 days, or maybe some of the coolest features are locked until you pay up. A great example is a tool like WinZip for compressing files, or maybe a trial version of a big program like Adobe Acrobat Pro. They give you a little taste, just enough to show you how great it is, hoping you'll decide it's worth buying the whole thing.
And then you have something completely different, open source software. This is really built on this amazing idea of freedom and community. With open source software, the actual code, the recipe for the program is available for anyone in the world to see, to study, to change, and even to improve.
And this collaborative way of doing things has created some of the most important software on the planet. The entire Linux operating system is open source. The Apache web server, which powers a massive part of the internet, open source. It just goes to show what a community can build when everyone shares their knowledge. Okay, deep breath. We've dug deep into the software inside one single machine. Now let's zoom all the way out and see how these machines actually talk to each other, connecting your little room to the entire world.
It all starts small, with a LAN. That stands for Local Area Network. It's just a fancy way of saying two or more computers connected in a small space, like an office, or maybe the most familiar example, your home Wi-Fi network. Yep, that's a LAN. It's what lets all your devices get online and talk to each other. But what happens when you start connecting all those little LANs together across huge distances, across cities, countries, even across the whole planet? Well, then you get a WAN, a wide area network. And the biggest, most mind-bogglingly complex WAN of them all is, of course, the internet itself.
So there you have it. From the system software that wakes your computer up, to the apps you use all day, all the way to the massive global networks that connect us all. This whole digital world is constantly changing and evolving. The engine gets faster, the connections get wider, which really just leaves one last question. What's the next big connection you're going to make?